Yeah, a little bit louder. Thank you, everybody, for joining this event today, the demo day. I think even a little bit louder for the back there, right? Thank you. So, welcome, everybody. For the last 2 weeks, our students worked on many interesting ideas, and it's really more like a community. It's not just students and coaches anymore. It was really how we had the feeling of being together, and we're going to demonstrate this to you right now with something we practiced before. When I say think, make, you say? Start. Think, make? Start. Think, make? Start. Think, make? Start. Yeah. Who's on fire? That's not how this works. Who's on fire? Perfect. Thank you so much. Well, we're starting with a short video to get you hyped for the demo day, and then we're starting really soon with the pitches. So let's roll the video.
Awesome and build some cool stuff.
Shall we start? Yeah!
Yeah, and here we are. So we had over 190 applications and we selected 63 students. That is an increase of almost 30% from last batch. So we're trying to bring this to more and more students and to make this a fun experience. And with these 63 students, we had 13 teams working on 13 different projects that we want to, or they want to present today to you. Now, in the past, we had several batches. This is batch 16 now, and out of Think.Make.Start, several startups and projects have evolved. These are just some news articles about them, and we highly encourage all the teams to be on the next slide for the next batch. So keep it up and go on with your ideas. Now, finally, in the end of today, we will have 3 prizes. One for Think, one for Make, and one for Start. The Think prize is the audience prize. Simply, you will vote for the best team. I will explain later how. And the team with the most votes will get the Think prize. Make and Start prize are for best prototype and best business concept or startup concept. And this will be awarded and selected by our jury members. And maybe can you just introduce yourselves so everybody knows who the jury members are?
Sure. My name is Annette. I was part of the starting of Think.Make.Start as a PhD student, and nowadays I'm doing the same, but within BMW and pushing that company. Hello. My name is Jana Gicheva. I'm a professor in the School of Computation, Information and Technology for database systems, and I'm really excited to see what the projects are bringing here today.
Hi everybody, I'm Daniel. I started a company here at TUM 10 years ago. Basically, same situation as many of you right now. We focused on product development for other companies, so we built everything with exciting tech in it. And now after 10 years of doing that, I decided to switch sides a little bit. So we started a venture capital fund, and now we're investing in deep tech startups alongside Moshe's, our R&D business.
Hello everybody, my name is Alice Steinhausen. I'm from the Zeitler Forschungsstiftung, and we support Think.Make.Start and the Makerspace now over 15 years, I think. And yeah, I'm very happy and glad to be here and see what new teams are today.
I'm Johannes, I'm from the Makerspace, and I'm looking forward to all your awesome ideas.
So already a big thanks to our jury that they have the time and joined us today. And I think they're really looking forward to your pitches. So now we're starting with the pitches. At 14:50 we will have a prototype fair outside where you can have a look at the prototypes in person and see if they're really working. And then 5:10 we will have the award ceremony. Maybe a short reminder for the teams, please be, you all know the schedule, please be ready in time. And I think without further announcements, we can start with the first team called Peak Protect.
Okay, first group, let's start with a banger product. So who of you guys likes to go skiing? Let's see some hands. Okay, yes, skiing is nice, but what's even better is getting back to the resort or restaurant to have a drink, some food, some snacks, and enjoy the sun together with your friends. But imagine this, you get out of the building, you look for your skis, and they are gone. Your weekend is basically ruined. If you look at the numbers, we have more than 60,000 stolen skis just last year. We have actually created nearly 30 million euros in created damage, and there's actually a trend that goes up for ski theft. If we look at the problem, yes, many of them are stolen, but even more are mistaken. And if we're being honest, guys, after a few beers, it can actually be hard to find where you actually placed your skis at. This is why we present to you today the future of ski locks, Peak Protect. We secure your gear so you can conquer the peak.
But where is our product? Okay, so Peak Protect unique shape factor makes it extremely easy to use. It can securely lock your skis by just unfolding the lock, clapping them into your poles, and then grabbing the skis and locking them together with one simple move. The best part, you don't need another key. You can simply use your ski pass, which you can bind to the lock, and just hold it against it and lock your skis, and now you can relax. But Peak Protect also offers an additional AirTag feature which can help you easily locate your skis. And yeah, so beside that, just simply unlock it by holding your ski pass against the lock, and you're ready to hit down the slopes again. Our product Okay, so our product will be directly sold to our customers through our e-commerce store and also later on via retailer stores. And as of right now, we stand at a competitive price of $49.99. Being the largest gears market, the ski market is the optimal one for us to first start testing our product. Later on, we are deciding to also explore with other markets such as hiking, bike, and even paragliding, and that can lead us to an increased customer base. Our team consists of exactly what it takes to develop this product and have it market ready by the end of the year, just right in time for the skiing season. So we want to thank you for listening, and if by any chance some of you came with skis today, later on can lock them by our booth. Thank you.
You have 3 minutes for Q&A.
If you have any question, now is the time.
Just one question to your form factor. What's the weight of your device?
We don't have actual numbers, but this is just a prototype, and we're actually able to make it a lot smaller. This has a huge battery in it that we can decrease by a lot, and also the mechanism is way too powerful that we'd actually need it. But currently you can feel it afterwards.
Did you consider a cable?
Yes, we heard that quite often from the interviews, another like string, metal string, to attach it to a pole, to have it also secured at one place is planned in the future.
Can it be extended for snowboards?
Yes. As mentioned, we want to tackle the ski industry first and then also extend to snowboards and other gear sports like paragliding, anything what you want to lock down. But skiing is like the perfect one for us to test. From our interviews, we quite often heard that there isn't really a product out there that could actually do what we do for that price.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your competitor?
Yes. So one of the biggest competitors is a failed Kickstarter project from the UK. It had 7 contributors. It's a lock without any smart features that doesn't actually work. The next competitor costs 330 euros. So we are at 50 euros is like a sweet spot of a functioning product for a lot cheaper than the next competitor.
And you open it with your ski pass or your close
Yes,
door?
this one is only per ski pass, but other competitors you have to have an individual key. So you can attach any ski pass or any other card to this lock.
Did you consider the low temperatures when skiing?
Yeah, so right now we are using a nylon battery, which can hold it until like minus 20 degrees. But the thing is like it has decreased capacity at that temperature. So it reduces it at almost 50%, which is like 11 hours. But at a future iteration, we are considering capacitors, which can increase that battery lifetime. And yeah. Thank you.
Then, thank you very much, Team Peak Protect. Next time we have to do the Think.Make.Start before winter so we can start testing these products immediately. But next up will be Team Coral, and they will tell you what they did during the last 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thanks, Max.
All right, so when was the last time that you slept really badly? And how did you feel the next day? Were you extra tired, unconcentrated, irritable? Well, for many of us, we just sleep the next day and all is better. But for people with sleep apnea, this becomes daily reality. Now, unknown to most, sleep apnea is actually one of the most common sleep disorders, with 1 billion people affected in the world. It is characterized by the intermittent stopping of breathing due to the throat closing. And this leads to frequent awakenings at night to gasp for air, as you can see here in this video. This is the sound people make, which fragments and destroys quality sleep. Now, current therapy methods work by applying constant air pressure to keeping the airways open. But while effective, they have a lot of different issues, like the inability to move freely at night, the unnatural breathing rhythm because air is constantly shoved down your throat, as well as the overall inflexibility in travel due to its bulkiness.
But don't worry. We've heard our users cry for help, and we are providing you with a solution. We shrink the size of our device by accommodating all essential elements around the mouth, neck, and nose. Thus, we can tackle the top 3 issues. Now, you can go cableless and tubeless, since you don't have it all over your face. You can breathe naturally, but have a pump support you if you need it. And you're a lot more flexible because our device is portable with batteries inside of the neck pillow. Stefan will now demonstrate how our machine works. So, we've got 2 different sensors. One around your chest to tell you if you want to breathe in, and one sensor within the face mask which tells you if you can breathe in. Stefan will now hold his breath to simulate sleep apnea. We can hear the pump being active.
So in Germany, 26 million people alone have sleep apnea and suffer from it. So that brings us to a midterm market size of almost 40 billion euros. We'll tackle this market by expanding our current partner network, by collaborating with different institutions and doctors who will be able to prescribe our product. And we have started with Dr. Sebastian Herberger, a sleep specialist at the Charité, who sees a real benefit in our product. We at Team Coral, we have 5 different backgrounds, but one clear vision, and that is to create a society without any sleep disorders. So if you want to join us on our mission, then from going from this to this, then please approach us after the pitch at our booth. Thank you so much. Please welcome the rest of the team to the stage.
Out of the people suffering from this disease, how many of them are actually using the device here? Is it everybody?
You mean the CPAP machine?
Like, I think 2 or 3 slides back you said how many people in Germany suffer from the disease, and the question is if everybody uses the device or if there's other treatments.
So that's this statistic here in the middle. So almost 95% of people who have sleep apnea don't know that they have it. And of those people who do have it, 65% diagnosed, that's the second fact here, have not started or have stopped using the constant pressure machines because they just are not compatible with them.
Based on your technology, how small can you bring your device in the future? Because it still seems like bulky.
Yeah, it is quite bulky. So this is our working prototype that we have with the 500 euros budget for the TMS. Now, the current engines that run the impellers, which basically pump air and suck air, like small little turbo fans, they have around 3.5 centimeters in diameter and 2 centimeters in height, so they're like small cylinders. So that's the smallest that you have up to now, so we can shrink everything basically down and incorporate it into a mask that looks something more like the one that you see here on the right.
And follow-up question, did you already do some user testings, and how is the user experience with that kind of thing? Is it definitely better, or is it similar?
Yes, so one of the issues that we had was that you have people who already now use the full face masks, so that's actually this fact here. So almost half of the people currently using CPAP machines have a full face mask. So for them, having this full face mask doesn't really change the sort of way you are therapied. For those people who don't use a full face mask, but more like a nasal sort of pillow, you can see that actually at our stand if you come by later. They have experienced similar feelings, but they have to just keep their mouth shut, so that's something that we will have to take into account in future. Any more questions?
So if you go in this market, you will have to go through a lot of different testing and, yeah.
Yeah, so we have... yeah, exactly. You see, so for the next probably 2 years, we will have to work on the MDR, the Medical Device Regulation, which is basically the European standard. We sort of have a budget, or we expect to have a budget for 150,000 euros for that to go through these things, such as like the biocompatibility and the stress test, going through the CE certification, until we then can go to market in about 2 years and take it from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for this presentation. It's really interesting what you can achieve in 2 weeks, and also with a love to detail, you can see they also printed their own shirts, and yeah, this is something that is done by Team S. By the way, for those of you who are maybe not so familiar, all students come here with maybe some ideas, but maybe not without an idea. And these 2 weeks are really from the basic idea up to the product and startup concept today. And all the students validate their ideas. There are several prototypes. It's not just what you're seeing at the end on stage. There are many stages in between. And yeah, I think especially during the last days, we had a lot of night shifts. But as the second team is preparing for their demo, I think I can already announce them. We will have team number 3, Farm Vision, on stage.
Welcome. We're Team Farm Vision. Have you ever wondered where high-quality rapeseed oil comes from? What if I told you it's not actually just a farmer, but also the seed developer who provides a high-quality seed that is resistant to extreme climates and diseases? to guarantee such a high quality of seed, the developer needs to get rid of all the male plants from his fields. As you can see, it's quite hard to differentiate male and female from each other. The problem is that this is being done manually right now, and we offer a solution to make it easier.
As a solution, Farm Vision developed an autonomous robot powered by AI that detects male plants and distinguish them using a spraying mechanism. By doing that, we speed up the recognition process and make the breeder's life easier. So let's go to the demo. Our robot will start moving, and once it detects a male plant, it will just stop, spray it, and then continue. Once there are no longer any plants in the field, it will stop. Clark, may you please slide the plants? And we have now our second green dot. And we can move forward.
Well, so the AI farming market is expected to grow over 4 billion by 2028. We focus our product in object detections by using computer vision and machine learning. And in our vision is that in the next 5 years, we can address 7% of our product to plant detection market in Germany. So our number would be around, according to our estimation, 80 million euros. Our revenue model is based on the lease of our robot for the value of 500 euros per season. And our subscription model would be to make the use of our software, and we would charge our customer on 50 euros per hectare. And as a strategy to enter the market easy, we would provide for the initial phase data analytics and consultants for free for our customers. Please meet our team. We are Farm Vision, we know the difference. And if you would like to visit our stand to get to know more about our product, you are more than welcome. Thank you.
Could you please explain again how exactly detect the male plants?
Okay, so basically there is a slight difference between both plants that you are talking about technical aspect, or?
How do you detect? Because it's very close there.
Oh, so basically you can see here that there are some like extra petals, the number of petals, and the color, the contrast is a little bit different. So basically the male plant are more like shining compared to the female plants. And for here we simulated basically with circles, because we need to go on field and collect more data. We tried with different objects, and like now we will leverage it and start collecting data and like prepare it to do an object detection model.
What about your competition? For example, I know that Fendt is doing a very similar thing already. Did you check that?
Okay. So yeah, we got in contact with them. At the moment, they are recognizing the weeds and removing them. At this point of our project, we would like actually to mark them in order to offset the label of those seed developers. And then from this point on, we could think about our next market. But at this moment, we don't want to remove our plants, the plants.
And there is one addition that their product is not vision-based, but the breeders themselves, they have more data and they estimate based on that.
Do you anticipate any obstacles on how the robot can be robustly move in the environment?
So there are a lot of similar farming robots out there. And I've also talked to a friend of mine who already built a robot that is like 6 meters wide, and it's for different application, but it goes through fields and it basically gets rid of weeds for sugar canes. So there are definitely robots out there that can be used for that, which are cheap and easily available. We focus mostly on the detection and marking part.
Also, thank you very much. Who of you is a recreational scuba diver? Does some people do scuba diving? In fact, the seas are in danger, and I think most of you are aware of this. And one of the dangers for the coral reefs is the lionfish. But to tell you all about it, I'd like to welcome on stage Team Aquawatch.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I would like to start the presentation by taking a deep breath with all of you. As you know, oxygen comes from trees. But did you know that oxygen also comes from the ocean? And specifically, corals play a vital role for the oxygen production. Now, we know corals are endangered due to climate change. But did you also know that they are in danger because of invasive species? These species are destroying ecosystems by eating coral or local real fishes. And on top of that, they have no predators. So they just keep reproducing and reproducing. And knowing the exact location from these species is a great challenge. And that's where we want to help. By providing information for research institutes so that they can take actions accordingly. And now, we will show you our friend the lionfish. He will go into our ocean. Trying to eat the fishes, he will be detected by our underwater camera. Our AI recognition system recognizes that it's a lionfish and sends the data to our server so that it can be displayed in real time for our users.
Our main customers are research institutes. We will start with the Caribbean Sea because it's where this problem must be urgently solved. And then we will go to the Pacific Ocean where other invasive species are. After positioning Aquawatch in this market, we will go to the diverse resort market because they also want to protect the ocean to attract more tourists and divers to the area. For our business model, we are a service provider. So we take care of technology installation and maintenance, and we provide the data. To be profitable, we follow a subscription model with different plans that differ on the number of users that can access our platform and also on the insights on the data. Based on this, we have an entry market size of 600,000 euro. What makes us different in the market is our stationary underwater camera that provides constant visual monitoring and also our AI model to recognize the species through image classification. Okay, this is our team. We are united to protect the future of the ocean. And please Scan this if you want to discover more about our project, how we want to take care of the future of the marine biodiversity. We are AquaWatch. Thank you. Just in time. Any question?
Thank you very much. I understood that your system is static and not dynamic. Like, why did you decide to do so?
For our functional prototype, many challenges come into place, and keeping the location is one of those challenges. And if we want to make a first deployment, and what we are planning to do is also in a large-scale deployment, we will have the stationary systems, for example, in a distance of up to 5 kilometers. And this is also the range our low-range sensor communication system works for. So we can assure that the signals can be transmitted, and we have this large network of devices then in our central database. So therefore we stick with stationary devices, but then many of them.
Okay, thank you.
So what would be the range that you can cover with each device?
So when you think of the ocean in general, that's tough.
No.
Yeah,
range for each device.
Exactly. So we are tackling coral reefs, so the sight is actually quite good. And light always reaches these depths. So this is our assumption that the sight is good enough. And the range we tested so far is up to 5 to 10 meters of a single device. But the goal of our project is not to give like extreme precise measurements, but more in a larger scope for research institutes to get a better feeling where those hotspots are and where those species can be found. Yes. So the range is not very far, but enough for our use case. Okay, any further questions from the jury? Then thanks a lot.
And by the way, it's really interesting that all of them are here because they actually went to the lakes and went swimming to test their prototypes. And by the way, one maybe little spoiler, they had a moving prototype in between, or at least the plan was to build one. And if you want to find out the story about it, maybe ask them at the booth. Okay, next team, from the reefs, we're getting directly into baby healthcare. And to tell you all about it, I'd like to invite Team Thermo-Bobo on stage.
Okay, how's everyone feeling? A famous person once said, like all parents, my husband and I do the best that we can, hold our breath, and hope that we've set aside enough money for our kids' therapy. Parents are anxious people because parenting is a crushing responsibility. There are so many things to do. You have to change their diapers, feed them, take care of them when they're sick, and boy, when they're sick. I've spoken to so many parents, and there's nothing worse for a parent than watching the light of their life suffer. And babies get sick all the time. Fever is one of the most common causes for medical consultations in children. And fever among babies can be more fatal. A few degree variation in their body temperature can mean the difference between life and death. So it has to be monitored all the time. So I want to introduce you to Niki and her son, not so little Nico. Unfortunately, Nico has been running a really high fever for 3 days now, and he's extremely fussy and uncomfortable, and he's not letting Niki even touch him. And this is not Niki's fate alone. There are 1.4 million parents in Germany who face this every year. So we wanted to empower parents with analytics while keeping the baby comfortable. And we assure you that your little one is going to love our Thermo-Bobo. It's a medical grade pacifier which reflects real-time temperature data that you can track over time. Here we have our not so little Nico with our prototype, and the pacifier is connected to the app which displays real-time data. And not only does it do that, it can also send temperature alerts if the temperature is too high or too low, which can make the world of a difference for anxious parents. The temperature sensors are embedded deep inside our product, made completely out of silicone. It's BPA-free, waterproof, and comes with an orthodontic design. Compared to the existing solutions on the market, the Thermobulbo rates really well on all the features, and real-time monitoring and temperature alerts is our unique selling point. We follow a B2C model, and we have a realistic target of 3% market size with the following revenue projections for the first 3 years. And after that, we want to scale up and capture 10% market size, and we do that by partnering with existing brands and joint ventures. This is our glorious team. And if you want to join our wait list and be our first customers, please walk by our stall and scan the QR code. And in conclusion, I would like to say to all parents out there, we know that it's rough. We see you, and you've got this. Thank you. Do you have any questions for us?
First of all, great pitch.
Thank you.
I have one question. Like, if your goal is to keep peace of minds for parents, why did you choose a form factor that can fall out and then you don't have any constant monitoring anymore compared to a patch or something that's there constantly?
The thing with most body temperature is that the most accurate one is the rectal one, and next to that is the mouth one. And it's comfortable as well. So even the patches here, they're not as accurate as the ones in the mouth. So it can be uncomfortable if it falls out, but it's a better trade-off than, say, a temperature sensor, which again comes with like the glue, and you have to keep buying them, and it's not reusable. So yeah, we decided to go with this one.
Great pitch. How exactly is it powered? Is it battery-based or?
So the current prototype is battery powered. It will be battery powered in the future, just with a much smaller battery. So. Yeah.
For what age is actually the fear the greatest for the parents? Because I actually just learned that the pacifier should be removed latest after 1 year.
So the fever can be very fatal below 3 months, extremely fatal. From 3 to 6 months, you don't have to rush to the hospital that quickly. So we would recommend that. And I know that it's recommended that you wean it after within 1 year, but in Germany, like the kids usually hold on to it until they turn 3, based on our research. So there is still market potential until they're 3.
Do you see it maybe extending to beyond a pacifier? Because my kids never had a pacifier, but I would have loved to have real-time monitoring of their temperature.
Of course, we have the tech, and it's extremely accurate. And we, as a company, we would, diversify the products in the future. So, yeah, definitely. No further questions? Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. Our next team, Exoflex, revolutionizes rehabilitation, and therefore we also call them Reha-Bibi. So welcome them on stage.
Hi everyone. So I would like to start with a quick question to the audience. So quick show of hand if you've ever injured your wrist or hand before. Okay, all right. So actually, a broken wrist is the most common fracture in humans. So alone in the EU, there are 11 million hand injuries per year, and 80% of them needs to be treated stationary. But on the other hand, you would need to wait more than 3 weeks to have an appointment at your physiotherapist. So that is why we've developed Exoflex.
Exoflex is an exoskeleton that is designed to help physiotherapists relieve them from more work so they can treat more patients at the same time. If you've just answered yes to the questions, if you've broken your hand or something before, then you might know that performing specific exercises like moving your hand back and forth is a very important exercise if you want to regain the full range of motion back again. And that is exactly what Exoflex is designed to do. The integrated motor can help you in early stages of rehabilitation to make movements that you otherwise wouldn't be able to do and train your muscles that way. And in later stages, you can measure the angle and also the force with our 3D printed clutch to gain insights on how far in rehabilitations you've already come. We track that data via our web app, so you and your physical therapists know exactly what's going on. And also, it's a portable and small device that you can take home so you can train at home. In the end, Exoflex is designed to help physiotherapists so they can have a lot more patients at the same time, while you get a faster and more safely recovery with Exoflex.
So we can see that there is a growing market for medical devices in physiotherapy with a global market of 18 billion euros. But we first want to enter the German market and target physiotherapists that have a yearly turnover of over 200,000 euros first. So we are a B2B model that sells our hardware as well as software solutions directly to the physiotherapist. Now, talking about our potential customers, we have went out there and talked with them about our potential solution. So this is what they have to say about us. So our device is quite small and portable so that it doesn't require much space. We are providing them with valuable data so that they can have a more accurate treatment for the patients, and in the end, we are saving them a lot of time. So this is the team behind all of the magic. We are 5 interdisciplinary students from various backgrounds and experiences, and we are Exoflex. We bring movement back into your life, and please scan this QR code to get to know us and where to find us afterwards, and you can try our device firsthand.
Thank you for the presentation. I only know these machines for knees. And I have a question. Is it only possible to make this one movement, or is it necessary only to do one movement, or is it?
So this movement is like the most crucial movement.
Okay.
We're planning to do other movements such as this movement, as these are also very crucial. But for our first MVP, we focused on trying to enable this movement.
Great progress with the prototype. I see a lot of work went into that. Congrats. Big question for me would be the user perspective as well. Like, how would the logistics look like of getting the device and starting training yourself? Is it all app-based, or how does the user experience look like from the injured person's perspective?
So we're selling the device to the physiotherapists. They can rent it out to their patients. And we also actually wanted to integrate a game so that the patients can have a little bit more incentive to still train at home. And as you can see or track your progress in the app, you can also see that your recovery phase is much increased with like more training at home.
So you don't need like any initial meeting with a physiotherapist to start the treatment, but you just get the device from them.
I think one initial appointment would still be necessary to tune the device, to make it adjustable for your hand size, basically, and then from there, the device can figure it out on its own.
Okay.
To add something to that question, usually the physiotherapist at the first session, he would check your ability of motion, and we also have 2 exercises which check the motion range that you have currently. And there's one without any motor support and one with motor support where you get stretched. And so this data is also sent to the doctor like after week, so he can check the data, what's your progress. And but of course, yes, as Jan said, there would be some initial appointment with the doctor who sets the exercises. So yeah.
So basically, you're not solving the waiting time before, but like improved treatment afterwards.
Exactly, yeah.
The goal is also to use the device within the physiotherapy so that the physiotherapist can have multiple patients at the same time, and that saves time, and so we hope that there would be more appointments then.
By the way, what was really nice about the teams, they started bringing sports equipment to this area here, and we actually had a spike ball set here, a tennis court in the back, and a table tennis court based on our tables. And this team especially was always happy whenever we did a spike ball round. You just had to knock on the table or on the wall, and they were immediately on it. Next team has a little bit more heavy setup. Maybe I won't give any spoilers, so welcome on stage, Team Arise.
Hi everyone, allow me to introduce you to Grandpa Gunther. So now, picture him on the toilet for a second. Everything is fine and well until he tries to get up. 1 in 3 seniors over the age of 65 experience mobility issues, and this is especially visible when trying to go from the sitting to the standing position. So in this case, what are Grandpa Gunther's options? Well, for starters, he could get a nurse. Unfortunately, this option isn't always available, and it can get quite expensive. Grandpa Gunther could ask his family for help, but he finds this a bit embarrassing and doesn't want to impose. Another option would be to buy this ordinary seat riser or to invest 12,000 euros to install this bulky lift system. Honestly, none of these options are ideal for Grandpa Gunther. But this is where we come in.
Introducing the Arise One, an easy-to-install attachment for your own toilet. We conducted extensive user testing, and we found out that there are 3 main design goals that we wanted to focus on. The first was the Arise had to be something that was effortless and natural to use. Secondly, it didn't have to be something too imposing or intrusive, not look like a medical device. And third, it had to be something that was light on the wallet, something that everyone could afford. And so we have a quick demo here of our prototype, and as you can see, it's as easy as just sitting down, and the system that we designed stores the energy that you use when you sit down, and then uses that same mechanical energy to assist you back up. It's that easy.
Making affordability key. We sell our Arise One at the competitive price of only $2.99 a unit. And we offer a free money-back guarantee. But who in the world would like to buy a refurbished toilet seat? These we sell to our commercial customers like hospitals or elderly care facilities. The 6.6 million mobility-impaired seniors in Germany alone. We look at an addressable market of 400,000 customers a year, amounting to 120 million euros a revenue. How did we come up with this number? We looked at a similar product, the Walker, for its users also being prime customers of our Arise One. Together, we want to tackle this market. And the next time you think about your grandparents, think about them on the toilet and give us a call. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions? Any questions? Or we were then too good? Is that?
Maybe you can explain the mechanical process with the energy when I sit down and get up. And
I'd love to. So, Yin, could we please go back to the slide with the render? So this is our prototype, just to remind you again. But yeah, so we have a spring damper system with a locking mechanism at the end. So as you sit down, gravity does its work, and because it's a lever mechanism, it stores all of the energy in the spring damper system, and then as you get back up, it just assists you. And so we had a lot of conversation with the Department of Ergonomics and the chair over there, and we found out that when you sit up, we did simulations, you shift your weight towards the front. And so that automatically acts as a mechanism to shorten the lever arm and like slowly push you back up. And that's why we have the damper, so that we don't launch Grandpa, to the moon. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Perfect. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. I think the first time I noticed their idea was, I think it was day 2 or 3, in the morning at 9 o'clock, somebody came in with a sink in his arms. Okay, so we already through half of the teams. Maybe to get a little bit loose, we're going to do a variation of our Think.Make.Start chanting again. But this time, you just complete that we have the 3. So when I say think, make, you say, yeah. Let's say start, make. Think. A little bit louder. Start, make. Think. Make, start. Again, make, start. Think. Make, think. Start. Think, make. Start. Thank you so much. Next team is Team Flowsha. And yeah, to tell you all about it, please welcome them on stage.
Hey everyone. So many of you are planning to go for a swim this summer to enjoy life. But imagine every time you go, there is a high risk of dying. Well, this is how 50 million epilepsy patients feel. This state of threat is explained due to the current solutions, which is having someone on their watch every second or wear this life jacket, which delivers a horrible swimming experience. This led to epilepsy patients like Robert to stop swimming because they almost died. Or like he said, one only drowns once. This is why we designed a product of hope, a product that makes their lifestyle healthier and safer. Happy to introduce you Flowsha, a swimming suit that enables the freedom of swimming and the quick intervention in case of seizure.
So how does it work? This is the neutral mode, so our customer can swim like normal, enjoy the freedom in water, and having still the necessary protection they need in case of any seizures. At the back, there is a sensor, so the ECG sensor, and Shang is doing a couple of movements now to get his heart rate up. So usually it only inflates according to like when there is a seizure, but only for demo reasons we did a more complex algorithm. And that's the seizure mode. So that's the seizure mode. There was, according to the sensors, there was a seizure and the airbags inflate automatically and lift the patient up on the surface, turning them around so they can breathe. And comparing to those bulky life vests, as you might know them, our swimsuit is comfortable, especially designed for epilepsy patients and offering them the right protection they need in case of any seizures. So we offer a solution to a problem that no one has ever tackled before.
talking about the market, so we deliver a B2C product. And in the first 5 years, we aim to target 10% of the epilepsy patients in Europe, which leaves a sum of 77 million euros. So how are we making money? So we are selling our swimming suit for at least for basic model for 150 euros, and we're selling them in online retails on our website or sports retails like Decathlon. So behind Flowsha, a diverse team of geniuses in tech expertise and assets in business and project management, supported by experts in the medical field. So let's improve the life quality of people with epilepsy. They need us. They really do. Thank you. Yeah, we're waiting for your questions. I hope you have as many as possible.
Thank you very much for the pitch. How do you differ from like the heart rate is increased because I'm doing a lot of sports and just my heart rate is really up?
Yeah, actually, if you do some sports and the heart rate of a seizure is totally different. For a seizure, it goes from 70 to 150 in just milliseconds. But for the accuracy of the detection, which is important, we will do a combination of sensors, like oxygen, like accelerometer, like movement, motion sensors, so that we have the highest accuracy of the detection.
Thank you. And second question, is it reusable, or if it's inflated once, then it's...
No, it is reusable. Actually, we just have to change the CO2 cartridge, and then that's it. And then, actually, after, we're going to use it again. So if one of you wants to try our swimming suit, we'll do it later.
Thank you.
Yeah. Speechless.
Amazing product. I have just one question. What did the lawyers say?
Yeah. Actually, we're trying to do the risk assessment as high as possible, and we want to make the risk number as low as possible, which has our strategy. For example, if you see risk priority number is severity, occurrence, and detection. In our case, the severity is so high. So what we want to do is decrease the occurrence of errors and provide security alternatives in case of an error happening. And also the provide detection system for potential errors, like for example, system check before wearing the suit. And we are sure that when it goes to market, we will have the high accuracy and the highest detection for the system, so it will be safe. Thank you. And one is not a question, but I'll make it clear, because our suit actually is also for other people with other diseases, like for example with heart stroke, with diabetes, or also for the mass market. Like for example, if you're afraid of drowning, you can just wear our jacket, you can swim freely, and if something happens or you risk of drowning, our jacket will drown you up. But for our market entry, we want to focus on people with epilepsy. Yeah.
Can you enable it yourself? For example, if you have a muscle, how does it go, strain, and then you...
Yeah, and also for the market entry, we're adding a rope. So when the airbags goes off, the rope also will goes off from the jacket. So because, for example, we notice, for example, a mom has a seizure, her kids cannot save her if it has a seizure. So if there is a rope that goes off the jacket, so it's easy to take her out of the sea.
It is always nice to have such working prototypes. And it's also quite brave. Imagine after 2 weeks you developed a prototype, and if there's a failure before, then you cannot hide it at all. But they still managed to do it, and it really worked here. We're staying in the context of swimming, but in a completely different area with Team Portlock.
did you ever worry about your valuables while at the beach? If yes, please raise your hand. Okay, so this pretty much aligns with our own experience. And we've conducted interviews to see what people actually do against this problem. And they said they would either hide their valuables under a towel, they would ask strangers to have a look on it, or they would just leave it in the car. But let's be honest, this can't be the best solution. So we've created Portlog. Portlog is your portable safe for all travelers and vacationers. It consists of a secure bag where you can store all your valuables, including your phone, your purse, your keys, and maybe even your smartwatch. The material is waterproof and cut resistant, and furthermore, there's a combination lock on it which makes it really safe. At the bottom of the bag, Portlog is attached to a smart chain and an anchor, and the smart chain actually recognizes any kind of movement. So whenever someone pulls on it, an alarm will set off. Then let's see what anchors we have. We have three options: either a sand panel for beach holidays, a carabiner for city trips, or an earth stud for camping. And by combining these three use cases in only one product, we have a big potential with 1.2 million customers in Germany alone. This results in a market size of 70.8 million euros. And transferring these numbers to Europe or even the whole world, you can see how quickly our market is actually increasing. But of course, there are also competitors. So there are also other companies who provide secure bags. However, their solutions are either really bulky or they can't be attached. So by combining the option for attachment with a secure bag and the smart chain with alarm, we're providing an elegant solution that stands out and is unique. Here, you can see our current prototype. And it's a bag, it's already attached with the chain to the sand panel. We already buried the sand panel for you, and we're now demonstrating a theft with our thief David here. He's trying to grab the bag, and as you will see, the alarm will set off immediately, and David will actually run away instead of stealing your valuables. So, if you are convinced by If you are now convinced of Portlog the same way as we are, you can visit our website and actually purchase a bundle for 59 euros. A bundle always comes with a bag and 2 anchors. But we're also planning to put our product in store, for example, a Globetrotter. But for today, you can just come to our booth and visit us. Also meet our team, which consists of Stefan, Marina, Desiree, David, and myself. Here's also a QR code you can scan, because today we've got a limited offer for you. You can get all 3 anchors for the usual bundle price. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation, and the prototype is really good. Thinking about the product is now known to the market, and then the thieves have a knife and they just cut the rope through. Is that something that you also expect in the future?
Yeah, sure. So there are definitely a lot of features we're thinking of when we want to add to the prototype. But the technology already recognizes, I think, if someone actually cuts through the rope. So whenever the connection is lost, the alarm will go off, not only in case of pull movements.
Do you also envision that in case it is successfully stolen, that you have a detector inside?
Yeah, so we have a lot of features also inside the bag, and it's definitely compatible with an AirTag, for example. And for the future, we're thinking of integrating our own GPS tracker in the bag. Okay, then thank you very much.
Thank you also for your pitch. I mean, okay, now it's like the perfect timing for Think.Make.Start again. Get your first one out there for the coming summer. Moving on from the beach to car manufacturing. Our next team, is it ready? Yeah, here we are. Here we go. Our next team is called Sonitect, and they found a problem in car manufacturing, and I think they came up with a really clever and creative solution to it. So please welcome them on stage.
So, hello everyone. We are Sonitect, where sound meets innovation. This is Tom. He works in the assembly line of cars at Audi. On his typical work day, he connects hundreds of these cables. He knows that he connected the cable correctly when he hears this clicking sound. However, in a noisy environment in the factory like this, some clicks can be missed. So, did you know that only in Germany, 3.4 million cars are produced every year? And for every 2,000 cars, we get 2 to 3 misconnections. Each misconnection takes about 45 minutes to fix and reconnect. This is a big loss in terms of time, money, and effort. And this is actually the market gap that we decided to fulfill due to its high potential. And this fact was further supported by the potential users and customers that we have interviewed. For example, Thomas Tewinkel, the head of system integration at BMW, stated that, especially in sensor and comfort technology, we are confronted with this problem and cannot solve it currently. So how did we actually solve it? So our solution is that we invented an audio detection, an audio inspection device that can be mounted on the worker's hand. And this device, it will detect the clicking sound, and it will turn green and vibrate upon having the right connection. So, sorry, there was some delay in that. Now moving on to the business side.
Yeah, our current business case is to sell our devices to through direct sales and fairs like Automatica here in Munich at prices between 1,000 and 1,500 euros. And today we are really happy to announce that we found our first pilot customer, BMW. With our solution, BMW is able to save more than 1.2 million euros per year and have an increase of 10% in the sales. Projected this fact in Germany, especially car manufacturing, this results in sum of 4.1 million euro and about 80 million euros in East Asia, Europe, and USA. So here is a highly motivated team coming from different disciplines and with experience in industry. So just meet us at our booth and let's make connections together. And now we are open for questions.
Thank you very much. Maybe an obvious question, but how do you differ to ProGlove, who has something similar like that?
ProGlove is mostly in logistics to scan barcodes, and we detect sound. So it's basically a complete different technology. We have looking similar, of course, but from a detailed view, we just do inspection, and ProGlove is in logistic to scan barcodes.
A really cool product. How small do you expect it to be in your final version?
This is our prototype on my right hand, but in future we will expect to have this size. It's about the size of Apple Watch. So the technology which is in here can fit here as well.
Really cool.
I think this will be only a furthermore product for medicine products or technologies to producing.
So currently we are...
Will you only be in the automotive or in the sector or in the medical too?
Right now we're focusing on automotive because we have quite a strong background in automotive industry and we know this issue. And also the connectors in automotive are quite much larger than in medicine. But of course this can be also extended to medicine in the future. But our roadmap right now focus on automotive and aerospace as well, larger components.
Yeah, this is basically like the first like sort of smart glove that is based on audio detection. So it can basically like go in any field where they are dependent on the sound. We now have the focused market, but this of course can be expanding. It will all be based on like collecting more data and doing like the classification of the different sounds.
How sensitive is this sound detection?
Right now we have just 2 weeks of data collection. Like it's a machine learning project, and as already mentioned before, data is the key here. So we were only able to detect about 700 clicks of those. So it's limited in the capacity right now, but in future if we collect more and more data, it's around, we need to collect 30,000 samples, then we can achieve an accuracy of 95% and up.
We're also working on synthesize the data, so we don't have to click every time, just make a synthesized data set also.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's always hard doing live demos. I think especially the ones of you who maybe already did some live demos too, these are really, really hard. Sometimes it's really easy to get something working in a video because you have many takes, but if something has to work in real life on stage, that's something completely different, especially if you don't have so much time to prepare. And we encourage all the teams to do real demos and not fake demos. I mean, you can fake a lot, obviously, but most of the things, or I think all of the things you're seeing on stage are really the mechanisms they're pitching, or at least the first prototypes of them. So maybe give them a big round of applause for really doing real demos. And secondly, hardware is always unreliable, and this course is all about making hardware. These are not just software products. In fact, we have the makerspace really close, and we are very thankful that our students can use them. They have all the options and all the machines there to really build the products and the prototypes. But yeah, as things can fail on stage, the next team built actually 2 prototypes. So I guess they're ready to go for their pitch. So next team is Team Talaria.
Welcome everyone. We are Talaria, and this is us. As a team, we get along quite well. We have common interests like sports and the outdoors, and we look like a regular team, right? But one of us has a problem, and that's Philip. Philip has flat feet. Doesn't sound too bad at first, but his flat feet cause issues or pain in his knees, his hips, sometimes his lower back. And like Philip, 570 million people worldwide have flat feet. You can treat the painful symptoms partially with insoles, but the only really effective solution is completing your training. Unfortunately, 50 to 70% struggle to complete their physio exercises at home. For these people, there's no real solution. There are health gadgets, which are pretty boring, and game consoles, which are for general health and movement only. We want to position ourselves in the middle and combine the best of both worlds.
Our solution is the ArchPad, a sensor plate that can recognize the 3 main exercises that you need to do to strengthen your feet. If you do the exercise correctly, you can play a little game, and you can also track your health progress over time. And we're going to demonstrate you now how that works. Right now, our ArchPad here on the stage is connected to our laptop via Bluetooth. And Philip is already starting to do his favorite exercises, the heel lift. And you can see that when he lifts his heels, he can play the little dino and try not to die. Yes, after this training session, his progress will be logged in our dashboard.
Now, looking at the numbers, I've already mentioned that total 570 million people have flat feet. Of course, we can't address all of them. We are only addressing the portion that is in pain or in treatment. And if we break that down to the people who are struggling to complete their exercises at home, this gives us a target market of around 660,000 people in our pilot region, the DACH region. For those customers, we want to offer a leasing model because in our interviews we found out that some were only interested in short-term pain relief, while others are interested in a long-term solution, for which we offer a one-time purchase for 99 euros. This includes physiotherapists as well. As a small outlook, we want to partner with more physiotherapists in the future. And so far we partnered with Activere in Garching, and they offered us to take us to the physio school and the Fachhochschule in Munich, which would be our logical next step. And in the future we want to create more exercises and games for our sensor pad. Please feel free to come test our product at the product fair, and if you break the high score, which you can check with the QR code, you get a small prize from us. Thank you.
Looks really cool. I want to try it out. Main question for me would be, what's your user persona? Like, are you targeting the ones that are not training at home, or are you targeting the one that are training at home anyway but can do it in a nicer way now?
So the physiotherapists told us that there are two types of people: the ones who are really sporty and recovering and in rehab, and they are doing their exercises on a consistent basis. We are focusing on the ones who are struggling to be motivated at home, but of course you have to talk to a doctor or physiotherapist in the beginning to know the exercises.
And how scalable is your design, right? Because people, the range is quite big.
So the lower button consists of two buttons, so you can actually place your heel on the top or at the bottom. So we can cover a range of motions, but for or sizes. But for our next prototype, we also want to make it even more scalable to also offer it for kids, for example.
Does it necessarily has to be a plate, or can it also be included in the shoes and the soles?
I would say it's pretty difficult to get all the sensors into a sole, and there's also some medical companies, even in Munich, that are already doing that better than we are doing it, but that is mostly high-grade, very expensive equipment.
Maybe a question from the audience.
Once we implement the pressure sensors, you can, but as of right now, we are focused on the 3 core movements. But in the future, that's planned, also to incorporate more exercises. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Who of you know the game they played before? Did some of you play this game before? I was wondering what the Google developers would think if they knew that this game was an inspiration later on for a physiotherapy startup at a university course. Okay, moving from flat feet to families again. Please welcome on stage Team Familio.
When was the last time that you've been talking to your grandparents? According to statistics, about 50% of all the people in this room have not been in contact with their grandparents within the last 2 months. But why is that the case? Because even if they're far away, we could just do video calls, right? Well, apparently that solution is not working. The question is why. First of all, older people often don't have smartphones, and even if they have smartphones, they're just overwhelmed by the functionalities. They just would like to talk on the phone. Young people, however, don't have time for long calls, and they don't even like to do phone calls. They just want to text. So why is there no solution that's combining these two user needs? Guess what? That's exactly what we did with Familio. We are bringing generations together by making sure that the older generation is always included in the communication technologies of today.
Hey Viola, by the way, I think it's been a while that we had contact to our grandmother, so why don't we just send her a quick Telegram message? She's also using Familio now.
Nice, amazing idea. Let's quickly take a picture with the audience. Smile. Oh, we took a video now. It's not working. You sent the picture, please. Perfect. Nice.
Oh, look, it's blinking. There must be a new message from my family. Ah, my grandchildren are doing a presentation. It's so nice that they thought of their grandma. Let me just answer real quick.
Hi, Grandma, this is Viola. Please leave a message after the tone.
Hi, Viola, it's your grandma. Good luck for the presentation. Ah, I remember. My grandson Ian also sent me a picture yesterday. Let's just take a quick look at it. Ah, he's doing stand-up comedy now. It's so nice to be part of the everyday life of my family again.
All right, Grandma, thanks for the great presentation. But who bought this for you? Who are our customers, actually? And actually, we define our customers as the grandchildren. And looking at our market potential, especially at our serviceable, obtainable market, we expect a quite big market potential of around 350 million. But how can you get our products? And based on our consumer research and our competitor analysis, we decided to offer our product, or we decided to offer the option to buy our product on the one hand, and on the other hand, to rent our product without any initial fees. And besides that, there will be a cellular version for grandparents without Wi-Fi. That's our awesome team behind Familio. And, well, yes, a brochures later and a fair. We are Familio, and we're bringing generations together. Thank you. Yeah, any questions?
Really, really cool. How did you come up with the form factor of the pictures and the scan? And how was this validated with the user groups?
Well, we basically took a look at what grandparents use as communication techniques and what the youth chose. Then we quickly came up with a mock-up, a cardboard prototype, and basically immediately started getting feedback from guys in the Marienplatz or anywhere. And we asked them what they think about it, and then we converged to like the phone and just a picture frame without a touch screen, without too much interaction, to keep it simple for the grandparents and like an easy integration for the youth.
I really, really love it, and my grandmother is, I think, in 2 weeks turning 99, and she's using an iPad, and we are using Telegram, and this works most of the time good. But the issue that she always has is like, if there's an issue because she pressed the wrong button or hit the wrong chat, then this troubleshooting is always the issue, and there's nobody like who can directly go there and help her, or at least she need to wait until there's somebody. Did you also spend some time on this troubleshooting aspect? Because I think that's crucial for how this works, even though that's way more intuitive for grandparents as an iPad is.
Thank you for the question. First of all, I think it's really impressive with 99 to still use an iPad, actually. If I think at my grandparents, they're far from that. But yeah, of course, to make usability as easy as possible on the elderly side is essentially the goal of the entire product that you see. And the entire user interface is essentially focused on exactly that aspect. To be fair, it's still a development prototype, of course, so the usability aspects, setting up the device on that is still not what we aim for, but in the finished product, of course, this is exactly what we will implement. Thank you.
Such a great demo, and I really like the amount of detail or the detailed thought that went into the product, and it's really interesting how to see it evolve over time. Now, last but not least, we got a team with heavy-duty gear. Actually, at some point, we thought maybe it's a good idea to add like acrylic glass shields for protection, but I'm sure they want to explain and show you what it does and then how it works. So please welcome on stage Team Batloop.
As we all know, batteries are very important for our sustainable future. Join our ride through the life cycle of a normal battery. At the beginning, there's the production. The manufacturing is cost-intensive and resource-intensive. And the next step, the battery is used in the first life. The battery is cycled up to 3,000 cycles and in the best way used in a second life. Then the battery is recycled and discontinues. But this is only the best way the battery is used. There are products like those disposable e-vapes, which are only used once and then they are burned in the trash. We are focusing on those disposable e-vapes in the beginning because they obtain a valuable battery inside. And wait a sec. This battery is only cycled once. So the battery is quite fresh and we want to get this battery out of the vape. Today we are proud to present our prototype and we welcome you to see our BatBot in action. What you just saw was that we cut open the top and the bottom of the cigarette, and now in the next step we are pushing the battery which is inside the vape out of the cigarette. Now we can see that the battery is falling out of the cigarette, and now we have the battery out of the cigarette.
Okay, yeah, so this is a big issue since every second 2 vapes are burned in the trash, which accumulates to 60 million annually. And this is equivalent to actually 1,200 Tesla battery modules, which you could build from those resources. So the process you just saw, we have the ELF bar or the e-vape and we cut it open and get the battery. So, but how do we get those things? Through our collecting system, which we consists of consumers and collecting stores. Then we automatically disassembly those, and then we test the battery based on its conditions, and that's what we do at BatLoop. Then if the capacity is still good, we reuse them, or if the capacity is bad, we recycle them. Let's look at our roadmap. We want to start with e-cigarettes, then go forward to consumer electronics, and then micromobility, and at the end, we want to go to our main target to automatically disassembly electric vehicle batteries. And we unfortunately have to skip our huge potential market, but this is our very passionate team. And let's join our ride to revive the future. Das ist wegen dem Klicker. Wegen dem Ding. Do you have any questions?
How many fires did you have while testing?
Yeah, 0.
Wow.
We actually cut the battery once, but nothing burned, so.
But to more serious questions, how do you collect actually these vapes? Because they're usually just thrown in the waste.
Thanks for the question. I think this is the problem. So we have a sub-brand called Loophole. Those are actually like collecting bins, staged at near campuses, near the target market who are using those vapes. And also the stores, there's a law that if you sell those things, they have to take them back. And it's actually a pain for them to recycle them or to bring them to a recycling station. So we actually called a store in Munich and we got over 400 of those vapes within one afternoon, just picking them up. So yeah, and we want to put a reward system like what you know from the Deutsche Bahn. So if they recycle one, they can collect points and then get rewards from it. This is obviously a prototype. No questions? All right. Thank you very much.